And good morning, Savannah and the Low Country. How about the Coastal Empire, too? It's the Karl DeMasi Sports Report live at another location, okay? Because I'm not at Coach's Corner. I'm not on the Sound Garden, but I'm live at a family house, family relative, at another family function. But you know what? You got to love technology. You got to love it. You got to love it. I can do this show from anywhere, but you know what? As you see over my shoulder, it's near and dear to my heart. The man does a great job with everybody, with charities, with helping everybody out. He helped me out. Jon Nelson, the Coach's Corner. That's my home. That's where I want to be on the Sound Guard stage. But today I couldn't do it. Had a family obligation. Had to go to this family event. But what's great about it, I could do this anywhere. Anywhere in the United States. You got to love it. All right? And, once again, I'll tell you where I'm at. Here's where I'm at. Wayne State football, buddy. I'm here with my son, the offensive coordinator for D2, the Great Lake Intercollegiate League football team, Division II, one of the best Division II football leagues in the country. He's the offensive coordinator. So here I am in Wayne State, okay, Wayne State University. I got to rep my son, got to support my son. That's where I'm at, okay? But anyway, got a great show lined up for you. I'm excited, as you can tell. A little chilly out here in the garage. That's right. I'm in his garage, a little chilly. But you know what? I'm a New Yorker. I grew up on Long Island. I know what it's all about. You know, the snow, the chill, the cold weather. But anyway, I'm here having a good time, and I got a great show. It's short and sweet. I know the producer, my man, Lawrence Bennett, doesn't, like when I do this because it's going to be a short show. It's not going to be an hour and a half. It's going to be an hour. One guest. I tried setting up two guests, but they got obligations, which – two other guests, but they had obligations. So I'm going with one guest. We're going to break down Georgia High School State Association Bracketology football playoffs. That's right. Football playoffs, the bracketology with the man himself, the voice of Georgia high school football, the guru of sports here in Savannah, in the state of Georgia. And that's, of course, Jon Nelson from the Georgia Public Broadcasting Sports Department. Love the guy. Has never turned me down. He's going to be here about 9:20. We'll go with all that stuff. But, like I say, every Saturday morning, we got to go 3 steps in the door. But got to give a plug to the Coach's Corner Sports Network. Well, you're saying, Coach, what is this Coach's Corner Sports Network? We got 4 shows. That's right. We got 4 shows at Coach's Corner. Coach's Corner Sports Network. It was the brainchild of the producer who's probably checking me out and keeping me on task. I hope everything's going right, Lawrence. I got my mic on. But, Lawrence Bennett started the Rubbin' and Grubbin' NASCAR show. Okay, it was the first show on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. Brandon Bain does a great job. The Atlanta man, he's the host. He's got the plethora of knowledge about NASCAR. Every Wednesday night from 6 to 7. Check it out. Go to YouTube. They post a YouTube show every week. Rubbin' and Grubbin' with Brandon Bain, the Atlanta man, and, of course, the producer, the OG of the Coach's Corner Sports Network, Lawrence Bennett. Then yours truly, the Karl DeMasi Sports Report, Savannah, Georgia, the Coastal Empire. We'll touch. I got to start touching now on the low country, because we got the University South Carolina Beaufort. They're kicking up a basketball program. We got some local girls and guys playing there. So once again, check out that. That's 2 shows. The third show goes once a year. That's the Herb Brothers with the 19th hole. All things Masters, 5 straight days. They do a great job. Check it out on YouTube from this past year. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. You got to check it out. You got to check it out. Then, of course, one podcast. We'll be back with the last show. And that's right. Next week, the Who's on First Base baseball podcast with the coach, Karl DeMasi, and, of course, my buddy, the baseball fanatic, Kyle Lawson. We're tied in trivia. So whoever wins this Monday night, Tuesday night, whenever we do it, is the king of trivia. I've never beaten this guy in 6 years. That's right. We've been doing that podcast for 6 years. I can't believe it. And if you have a comment, just let me know. I got to go to my comments button here. There he is. There he is, my man, Lawrence Bennett. Lawrence Bennett, I gave it away. I'm at Wayne State University. I'm doing my show in another location. I'll be honest with you. I'm outside Detroit, Michigan. Okay, that's where Wayne State is. Okay, and I'm doing my show. I could do it anyway, but Lawrence, you know it and I know it. There's no place like home. There's no place like home, and that's Coach's Corner, and I'll be back there next week. So once again, thanks for checking in, Lawrence. You got a comment, I'll throw you up there, and I'll put you up there. Whoops, got to stop playing with the buttons. All right, let's get this going because my first guest My only guest today, Jon Nelson from the Georgia Public Broadcasting Sports Department, will be here about 9:20. We're going to do bracketology. That's right. What's bracketology? We're going to break down the Georgia High School State Football Associations. From what I see, a lot of the brackets haven't been completely filled out, but we'll find out what Jon has to say. All right. So once again, my number one fan checking in, Dennis Kessler. Dennis, I'm going to find you next Friday night in the first round of the playoffs. If you don't know who this guy is, number one Cavalier fan, purple Cavalier hat, purple feather, purple shirt, suspenders to hold up those jeans like I do, okay? Us old guys got to stick together, Dennis. So you got to check it out. And, Calvary Day School, perfect season. I appreciate it. You have a wonderful day, sir. And could you ask Mr. Nelson who Calvary did playing at home this week? I got that written down. Calvary will be taking on Jackson High School. Jackson High School. That's who they'll be taking on. I'm pretty sure I'm 100% correct, but, the old coach can be wrong at times, so we'll see if Mr. Nelson can help me out with that. All right, just so you know what we're going to go to next, we're going to go three steps in the door, high school, college, and pro, and hopefully by that time, Mr. Jon Nelson will be on about 9:20. So here he is. Here's your Week 12 schedule. First step in the door, high school sports. There's your final on the ticket. There are your final scores. Let me get my little notes up here. Okay. That's the wrong notes. Let me find my notes here. Here we go. I got to make this a little bigger so I can read them. All right. Week 12. First step in the door. Hold on. We got another comment coming here. Whoops. Come on, comments. Dennis Kessler, anytime you need to know something about high school sports, I'm your man. Okay. Also, the Karl DeMasi Sports Report, the Prep Sports Report are your source for high school sports here in Savannah, Georgia. Check out the Prep Sports Report. Okay. We'll get to that in a second. Now let me get back to my notes. There we go. All right. This is all new because I'm away, so I don't have the luxury of being on that Soundgarden stage, so bear with me. Okay. Week 12 score started Thursday night. Savannah Christian Liberty County switched the game Thursday night. Savannah Christian beats Liberty County 63-21. Then we go Friday night, okay? Richmond Hill's in the playoffs. They're a number 4 seed. They lost to Colquitt County 35-3. Matt Lazat doing a great job over there with those Wildcats. Effingham County, first region title in 20 years. John Ford and those Effingham County Rebels did it last night. Nail-biting game. Check out the story on the Prep Sports Report written by Jeff Bowler. Okay, you'll get all they win on a 25 field goal with no time on the clock. Unbelievable. 31-28. Effingham County Rebels, region champions. First time in 28 years. Number 1 seed coming out of that region. Hey, I was a Rebel for 5 years. Well, as always, go Rebels. Okay, South Effingham, heartbreaker. They lost to Evans County 35-20. They needed to win. It was a tie game. Evans pulled away. Great year for the first-year head coach, Lauren Purvis. And that story is also on PrepSportsReport.com. Check it out. Written by the man himself, the guru, the man that writes everything for the Prep Sports Report, Nathan Dominance. Check it out. Class 5A, Greenbrier all over Bradwell. Bradwell season's over, 32-29. Statesboro takes care of Jenkins, 35-0. But Jenkins is already in the playoffs by virtue of tiebreaker. Okay, so we got Jenkins in. All right, let's go to that. 4A, Benedictine, New Hampshire are in. They had off this week. Islands finished, so nothing from that region. 3A, okay, let's go to 3A. Calvary, 1, Beach, nothing. Yes, Beach forfeited. They did not have enough players to play the game. For safety reasons, they forfeited the game. They'll play the first round. Next week will be their senior night. Country Day, all over Grove, 68-14. They're the number 3 seed coming out of that region. Long County, number 4 seed, beat Johnson 38-14 because the Hornets beat Long County 17-14 early in the season. Okay, so those were the games last night. Like I said, Savannah Christian played on Thursday. Got to go to GHSA Class 2. Nobody played. That's Windsor Forest. Their season's over. GSA Class 1A, Bryan County. First region championship in the school's history. You got to love it. You got to love what's going on here. The Redskins, 50. Claxton, nothing. Sherrod Freeman, that coaching crew over there. Former head coaches from Chatham County helping out, Tim Adams and Michael Moore. 50-0. They'll host the first round game. Now in Georgia High, let me step back. I got to go correct this on my on my notes in my stories that my guys wrote, because I post the final scores. It's the Georgia Independent Athletic Association Class A. Okay, Robert Toombs beats Memorial Day School 63-6. But Memorial Day School is in the playoffs, but we don't know why or where or how. I know why. I don't know where or how or where they're going, because the Georgia Independent Athletic Association ranks their teams by Max Prep's rankings for the playoffs. So where Memorial Day is going to fall, I don't know yet. I haven't heard from my good man, Mark Sussman, my source for GIAA. He'll let me know. St. Andrews also, they play in the big boys division. Okay. Quad A, 3A, District 2. Frederica beat St. Andrews 49-13, but they'll be in the playoffs also, from what I understand. So we'll have to find out. And going into the second round of the SCISA playoffs, Bethesda, 11-0, takes care of Greenwood Christian 50-0. Okay, they'll be in the second round, and they'll be hosting in Savannah, Georgia again. Volleyball playoffs, all done. Savannah Arts Academy made the furthest run. They lost in the semifinals to Landmark Christian, who lost last night to Mount Pisgah, okay, in the state championship. They finished like 34-8. The Lady Panthers did a great job. Softball, South Effingham makes it to the semifinals. They had to play Effingham and then went extra innings to get to the semifinals. And then they played Pope again. When they started the state playoffs, okay, they played Pope, beat them 5-3. Then they played Pope again. They lost, I think, 5-3. And then Pope again beat them 5-3. So great run by the Lady Mustangs, making it to the state semifinals in 6A. Cross country started yesterday. We only had 2 divisions going, 1A and 5A. Everybody else is today, 2A, 3A, 4A, 6A, 7A. But I got to tell you right now, finished 38th in 5A. Jenkins Jr., Leo Tedder, finished 38th, not bad, with a time of 17 minutes and 8 seconds. That's pretty good. Flag football all over the place. Calvary Day School knocked off first place. Well, it was a tied for first place, so they're in sole position of first place. They knocked off Long County 14-12 for sole position. They're on a roll. Check it out. I got to get more coverage. We do have the Grassi Roofing Prep Sportsport Player of the Week, Flag Football Player of the Week every week. The first one for this year was Calvary Day School, Abby Walsh. Unbelievable. Check it out on the Prep Sportsport. All right, college. Savannah State volleyball team, 0-3 this week. They're 12-12 on the season. They're 8-11. SEAC volleyball tournament should be starting next week. Basketball starting up. Men's and women's basketball. Check it out. Schedule's been announced from Savannah State. Also, don't forget USCB, the University of South Carolina at Beaufort, the Land Sharks. Okay, they start their first year basketball. We got a couple of guys playing. We got a couple of girls playing over there from Savannah. Check it out. Football last week, another heartbreaker for Savannah State. Tied at halftime, 17-17 with Benedict. Second half, they get outscored 21-0. Tough one for Savannah State. They're 2-7 on the year, 1-6 in SEAC. They're at Lane University in Tennessee today. All right, other major teams we follow, Georgia Tech. You can't figure this team out. They beat North Carolina 46-42 last week. They're going to go to Virginia today. They'll probably lose. Okay, but Georgia Tech, 4-4, 3-2 in the ACC. 2 more wins. They're bowl eligible. Let's see what happens. UGA all over Florida last week. Okay, they take on Missouri today at 3:30 up in Athens. Is this a trap game? I remember many years ago, I went to a Missouri-Georgia game, and Georgia was on a roll. Missouri beat them. Hopefully not today. That's at 3:30 in Athens. Georgia Southern, Thursday night ESPN2 game with Georgia State, beat them 44-27. Big game today away at Texas State, which I think is the number 1 team in the Sun Belt Conference. And then tough one for Georgia State. They had to go Georgia. They had to go Georgia Southern. And today they take on the Sun Belt leader, James Madison, at home up there in the ATL. So we'll see what happens with that. All right, let me get my mouse here, scroll down my news. All right. In soccer, SCAD men's team is 6-7-4, 5-6-3 in the Sun Conference. They're today at Florida Memorial at 1 o'clock. The ladies, they're ranked 6th, okay, in the nation in NAIA. Okay, they're number 1 in the Sun Conference. All right, so they tied Southeastern 2-2 last week. So the women are 15-1-2, 11-1-2 in the Sun Conference. They're ranked 6th in the country. The semifinals start the 7th. Let me see. So that would be Tuesday. 7 o'clock in Hardyville, the first round of the Sun Conference Championships in Hardyville, in Savannah. Go check it out. And then the final will be November 10th. Got to support those Lady Bees doing a great job over there with their soccer program. All right. I'm not coming in your living room trying to give you a kiss. I'm just trying to get. All right. Professionals. Texas, World Series champions, 4-1. I picked Arizona. The Fanatic picked Texas. Texas was too strong. Great job by the Diamondbacks. Both teams had over 100 losses 2 years ago. First championship since 1961. That's when the Texas Rangers came into existence. And, first World Series championship. They've been there before, but they haven't won. All right, NFL, Atlanta Falcons. Who can figure out the Falcons? 1 week they're good. The next week they stink. They lost last week 28-23 to the Titans. Ritter is on the shelf. Okay, we're getting Heineke a quarterback tomorrow. No, sorry. Is it tomorrow? I think I got to check it out. I think I got them playing next week against Arizona. I don't know if there's a bye week for the Falcons, but I'll check that out, and I'll let you know. Matter of fact, let me check it out right now. Let's go Falcons, NFL, schedule. Okay, this week, let's see. Big one tomorrow, Sunday morning, 9:30, Dolphins against the Chiefs. Okay. I don't see any Falcons. Oh, yes, I do apologize. Tomorrow, they don't have a bye week. Tomorrow, the Falcons take on the Vikings in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. We're going to have Heineke at the quarterback going against the Vikings, who lost their quarterback. I think they picked up Dobbs from Arizona as their starting quarterback. It should be a good game. Hopefully, the Falcons can get their act together. That's all I'm hoping for. So once again, the Falcons tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So we'll see what happens with that. All right, so where am I now? Okay, let's go with PGA Golf. Brian Harman's still off. Tim O'Neill out of South C. Johnson High School through Jackson State. Last week he finished 40. Last week he finished at the Timberlakes Club, tied for 45th at 7th. Last week he had off. This week, Tim O'Neill is at the Timberlakes Championship in Boca Raton. He's tied for 45th. Gene Sowers has not played. Remember, Savannah Bananas, local pro sports. Savannah Bananas, you want tickets to all their World Tour games, you have to go in a lottery. I put my name in. I'm hoping to get tickets for George Steinbrenner Field in Tampa Bay to go see it with my in-laws. Okay, Savannah Ghost Pirates, 1-3. They played last night against the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. I don't have a final. Today they're at the South Carolina Stingrays. They're 1-3. They're in 13th place. Don't forget the Savannah Falcons semi-pro team is looking for help. So make sure you check it out. Give them a call. Go to Savannah Falcons Football Club on Facebook, and you can get in touch with them. They're looking for coaches. They're looking for front office workers. Okay, and you can help them out. And don't forget Soundgarden. No Soundgarden today, but Soundgarden next Friday, November 10th. Okay, 7 to 10 p.m., we have Freebird, the ultimate Leonard Skinner tribute experience on the Soundgarden stage. And then Friday, November 17th, okay, 7 to 10 p.m., we got Slippery When Wet, the ultimate Bon Jovi experience. Check it out. That's on the Soundgarden. I'll keep the ticker rolling. I'm going to wait for my good buddy to get here to tune in. But once again, high school football playoffs will start or has started. Bethesda's already into the second round of the South Carolina Independent Schools Association. We're waiting to find out where Memorial Day School and St. Andrews will play. The Georgia Independent Athletic Association, they base their rankings or their seedings for their tournament on Max Prep's rankings. So that's what we're waiting for to come out. That should come out today or tomorrow. So hopefully my man will be up here next. Next up, we're going to talk a little high school football bracketology. That's the Georgia High School State Association with the man himself, the voice of Georgia high school football, as I've coined him. He took over for a legend, Tommy Palmer, good friend of his and a good friend of mine. And he knows more about high school football than I do. So I'll be back in 3 minutes, hopefully with the man, Jon Nelson from Georgia Public Broadcasting, talking bracketology, high school football. Hey, sports fans, looking for the ultimate sports and entertainment destination in Savannah, Georgia? Look no further than Coach's Corner. At Coach's Corner, you'll find everything you need for a great time, including TVs everywhere so you can catch all the latest sporting events, an outdoor seating area, perfect for enjoying a drink or a meal on a warm day, a wide array of drink options from beers to cocktails, a comprehensive sports schedule so you can cheer on your favorite teams year-round. Prompt service, even when it's crowded. A fun and lively atmosphere perfect for letting loose with your friends. And of course, delicious food. From famous chicken wings, hamburgers, to delectable calzones and pizzas. Coach's Corner menu is sure to satisfy your cravings. In addition to all this, Coach's Corner also features an upgraded sound garden. Now, more seats, more bars, and an upgraded sound system. It's the perfect spot for hundreds of fans to gather and enjoy the latest local bands, tribute acts, and rising stars. So what are you waiting for? Join us at Coach's Corner for the ultimate sports, music, and culinary experience. Coach's Corner can't wait to see you soon. Remember, Coach's Corner is located at 3016 Victory Drive, right in Thunderbolt, Georgia, and on the World Wide Web at coaches.net. Remember, Coach's Corner, where every day is game day. At Calvary Day School, we want our students to be fully equipped and on the cutting edge of academics, making a difference in our world. Your child will grow academically, physically, socially, and spiritually. At Calvary, it is so good to say we are one school with one mission and one vision: faith, academics, excellence, and building champions through Christ. Calvary Day School, we consider it a privilege to meet with your family personally. Call Philip Lee, Director of Admissions, at 351-2299. That's 351-2299.
For over half a century, when it comes to uniforms, sporting goods, or trophies, Thompson's got you covered. From cleats to caps and best prices on the biggest brands, Under Armour, Adidas, and more. From baseball to soccer, volleyball to softball, and yes, football too. Every season starts at Thompson Sports Shop. From cutting and equipped at Thompson Sports Shop's new location, 6606 Abercorn Street, Suite 102 in Savannah. Open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and seasonal on Saturdays. At locally owned Thompson Sporting Goods and Trophies, come see where everyone is a winner.
Yo, you still want some real New York Italian food? Bada bing, bada boom. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering is open at 7630 Skidaway Road, Tuesday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., serving breakfast and lunch right here in Savannah, Georgia. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering has been serving the public for over 3 years. Now, if you want Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering goods delivered to your door, go online to SavannahTakeout.com or DoorDash.com, or just pick up the phone and call 912-354-2914. That's right, 912-354-2914. Kabish, and remember, we ain't New York style. We are New York at Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering.
Weatherington Chiropractic Clinic. Your back hurts, another body part hurts all the time. It makes you mad. The pain drives you crazy. You just want to pick something up and throw it across the room? If you can. At the Weatherton Chiropractic Clinic, you get complete chiropractic care and pain relief to help you move better, have a less painful life, and of course, achieve a healthier lifestyle. The Weatherton Chiropractic Clinic is now located at 2 locations in Savannah, Georgia, at 329 Eisenhower Drive and in Pooler at 114 Canal Street, Suite 603. So visit Dr. Bart Weatherington at the Weatherington Chiropractic Clinic for all your chiropractic needs.
And good morning, Savannah, the coastal empire, the low country, wherever you may be. But I ain't there. I'm not at Coach's Corner. I'm not on the Soundgarden stage. I'm up here in a chilly Detroit area, going to support my son's team, the Wayne State Football Warriors, going against one of the best teams in Division II football, Grand Valley State. You know, I've heard about Grand Valley State. I've heard about Ferris State, Saginaw State. I mean, all these. But it's fun being up here. I'm only 1 block away from the Detroit River, so it's a little chilly right now. But you know what? I got to do my show. And that's what's great about this. You can do it from anywhere, anytime, get your guests to come on. And this guy has never refused me. And you know what? It's the day after most teams have finalized their high school football season in Georgia. The Georgia High School Football Association season is over. We talked about season number 1. We talked about season number 2. Season number 1 is preseason. Season number 2 is the regular season. Now we got season number 3, the icing on the cake, the playoffs. And this man loves his cake. He's always on the hot seat. And I got to appreciate him coming on because it's now time for the Georgia High School State Association Bracketology playoff bracket breakdown with the coach and the voice of Georgia high school football, Jon, one cute sports guy, Nelson. What's up, boss? How's it going?
So you've given us 4 seasons now. Okay.
How did I give you 4 seasons?
Well, you said preseason was season 1. So then that means that non-region schedule turns into season 2. That means the region schedule is season 3. And that means that we're now heading into the playoffs for season number 4. You've added a season. Not that I mind, because we all know that the Four Horsemen are one of the best stables ever in wrestling history. And it's always about, the Four Horsemen.
All right, I got excited. I called it preseason. I should have called it non-region season. I'm excited here. I'm talking football with you, and it's playoff time. I'm sorry, buddy. It's 3 seasons. I added one because I got excited.
There's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, it gives me a chance to drop a Four Horsemen reference early on a Saturday morning. It's all good.
4 horsemen of where? 4 horsemen from where?
Well, Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, and Ole Anderson. I'm sorry. That's your 4 horsemen. That's the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. I don't care about what's going on in South Bend. No, four horsemen are Flair, the Andersons, and Tully Blanchard. No, it is not Frank Leahy's group from just south of you. And by the way, you are going to be watching a fantastic D2 game today.
Yeah.
Grand Valley, for those that may not know the history, Brian Kelly, the current head coach at LSU, cut his teeth on the D2 level at Grand Valley. Grand Valley, that entire Michigan area when it comes to D2 football, whether it's Saginaw or Wayne or Grand Valley, I mean, it's some fantastic football up there. And traditionally, the one that survives up there in Michigan has a good pathway to making it to the D2 title game there in McKinney, Texas.
Yeah, I think Grand Valley State comes in number 2. Ferris State is at number 4.
That's the other one, yeah.
So it's just great football up here, and he's getting a little taste of what big time D2 football is. So he's enjoying it. I'm glad to be up here. It's going to be a lot of fun. Little chilly though, my friend. I mean, I'm 1 block away. I could see it right through the neighbor's yards. The Detroit River that leaks right into Lake Erie. So yeah, wherever you want to go.
Well, no, if you're pointing that way, then I got to point that way. So that's where your Detroit River is. The Detroit River, and then Windsor, Ontario is on the flip side of that, right over on the other side.
Hey, I can't believe if I go about 10 miles, I can cross a bridge and I'm in Canada.
Yeah, man, and you can have a lot of fun in Windsor, Ontario too, home of your Windsor Spitfires in the Ontario Hockey League. Great junior franchise in Windsor, Ontario, the Windsor Spitfires. Fantastic logo, by the way.
How much more knowledge do you have in that cranial vault of all this stuff?
Depends on what direction you want to go. There's a lot of useless knowledge in there, Coach, and then there's some where I kind of look like I know what I'm talking about. And then there's others where I sit there and I might know a little bit more than what I'm leading on to.
So, all right. Now, I got you up early after where were you last night?
We were at the region championship involving Milton and Lambert. So we were at the Eagles Nest last night. And Milton, it was a close game first half. Lambert's defense under Mark Beach in the 2 seasons that he's been head coach has really responded. And this one was one of several that was for region championships. And they were really clamping down on a high-powered Milton offense that really couldn't get going in the first half. But then Ben Reeves made some adjustments in the second half. And the game, you look at the score and you go, man, it was a 21-point game. But legitimately, it was a drive by Lambert, and they were down around the 5-yard line. And it ends up being a scoop and score. So Lambert is going in for a possible margin to cut it down to 1 score, and then they fumble it at the 5, and it ends up being a 95-yard scoop and score the other way, and it ends up being a touchdown game by the time we were done. I mean, I can't say enough about Lambert's defense, but Milton got a wake-up call, and I know that Coach Reeves and that staff, they're going to be looking forward to reminding the kids about the value of taking advantage of home situations. Because of the loss, Lambert drops to a 3 seed.
Wow.
West Forsyth ends up as a 2. Well, I mean, look, in 7A last night, we had absolute chaos with tiebreakers, and there was math involved. And you know that's not a strong suit of mine, because you had in one region, you had 3 teams with the same record, and you end up with just absolute madness. I want to say it was Region 4? It was Region 4. Region 4 had absolute chaos where you could have had 5 teams in 4 spots, and you could have had a team that was leading the region 3 weeks ago be out entirely if they lose and other things go their way. So Region 4 last night in 7A ended up as our region of chaos, use that hashtag, and then with Grayson beating Parkview and beating them soundly. The way that the math worked out, Grayson ends up as your region champ. Richmond Hill comes up from the coast, and they will be going to basically Loganville, Georgia, Friday night as Region 4 plays Region 1. Then Valdosta's your 2 seed out of Region 1. They're going to get a home game against Archer. Archer loses to Newton, and Newton beat them soundly. So Newton ends up as your number 2. Newton ends up as the 2 seed out of Region 4. Camden County goes from Kingsland to Rockdale County next week. And so you end up with this chaos going on with Region 4, trying to figure out what the travel plans are going to be for Region 1 and 7A.
Perfect segue there, John. Perfect segue. Here we go. Bracketology. He already jumped in 7A. Yep. Richmond Hill has, because I was watching that closely, and they haven't posted up. You haven't, people haven't updated their brackets, because everybody's waiting for things to go on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one quick question. Are we still waiting for some games today to fill out the rest of the brackets?
Yes, we do have a couple. I want to say in 5A there is, where is it? Hang on. See, now I'm flipping pages just as quickly as you are here. I'm trying to think. In 5A, is it? I think we ends up with there's a tiebreaker that's got to be determined somewhere. And as I'm flipping pages, I can't find it, but there is some tie breaking that has to be done. And it wouldn't surprise me if we end up with math, that we end up with the dreaded Thunderdome on Monday if math is going a certain way. And I think that we may end up with Thunderdome if things don't end up. And what I mean by that is it's the dreaded mini game. In AA, Region 6 is where we still have our math that needs to be decided. Region 6, spot number 4 has to be decided in AA to get to go play Rockmart next week. So we might end up with the dreaded mini game out of Region 6.
And just so people know, if you're listening, every region has their own tiebreaker format. Not everybody has this mini, which, you know what? I mean, I love, but you're giving the kids short notice to get ready to play a mini football game here. Uh-huh. So it depends on the region, because we had that with I forget where it was going to be. New Hampstead in 4A. People wanted to know why they weren't playing a mini football game, because they did it by point differential.
Right.
And even though Wayne County beat them, New Hampstead got the 2nd seed out of that region.
Yep, and that was the same thing that happened in 7A in Region 1, because if things had gone a certain way last night, you would have had to have gone to point differential had Lowndes beaten Camden.
Right.
And in the fourth quarter, in the third quarter, it was looking that way, that Lowndes was going to beat Camden. If Lowndes had beaten Camden, you would have had to have gone to point differential among Lowndes, Camden, and Richmond Hill to figure out who's the 3, who's the 4, and who's going home. Fortunately, for those of us who are not folks with mathematics PhDs, that was taken care of with a big fourth quarter by Camden County. So there were situations where you're looking at point differential, and I'm sitting there and looking at I'm looking at New Hampstead. I mean, I'm looking at Richmond Hill as a +21. I'm looking at, and they're in the barn. I'm looking at Lowndes, and they're at a -23, and they'd have to beat Camden by 45 or whatever to try to get in if the tiebreaker is there at 1 and 3. And no, it's chaos. But yeah, that's the key here in all of these situations, is that every bracket, every region has their own tiebreaker, and literally going into a Friday night where you've got questions, you better talk to your region head coach and sit there and go, okay, what's the tiebreaker in case things – coaches and ADs, they don't want to hear that.
No.
but you need to know these kinds of things going into these situations. But, yeah, we might have the dreaded mini game in AA in Region 6 on Monday. I've got to double check.
All right. And I'm going back a long time. When I first got here, we had – if you didn't score, we had the penetration, who got furthest down the field. Then we had coin flips. Yep. Then we have the mini playoff games. Now we got point differential. It's all over the place. But if you're just tuning in, it's the Karl DeMasi Sports Report. I'm talking with the guru of high school football right here, the man that I coined the voice of Georgia high school football now, because he's carrying that torch for our great friend Tommy Palmer, who would have loved this time of year. So, all right. So Richmond Hill has to go to Grayson. Tough task. Okay, 6A. You got to love those Effingham County Rebels. First time in 28 years, John, they won a region championship.
Very, very cool to see that, and that's the beauty of this time of year where, Effingham, they get a home game. Lovejoy has to travel all the way from the Southern Crescent. But Effingham is, if Effingham gets through that region game with what they've been able to do in short order, they could have a home game against Lee County, who that's tough timber now.
Oh, yeah.
And so you could have a home game in Effingham County against Lee County. And Lee County is going to have to do this on the road as a top 5 team in Class 6A. But right now, Effingham County gets Lovejoy and Lee County gets Dunwoody. Lee County, you look at that quadrant. You look at that quadrant in the upper left, and you're staring at Effingham County, Lee County coming through, and then you're looking at Douglas County, who knocked off Hughes earlier this year. Originally, this would have been, if this were last year, you would have seen Hughes as the number 1 there. But Douglas County, Johnny White, stout defensive program right there. So you're looking at Lee, you're looking at Effingham from your part of the woods, and you're looking at Douglas County down there at the bottom of that upper left quadrant.
And you got it. I'm just telling you right now, the man has done a great job. I love talking to him. He's a man of so many different coaching cliches. John Ford. I mean, he's just taking that program to the next. I mean, again, he wins. Last year, he won like 6 or 7 in a row. He's done that again this year. And, his non-region schedule, the first part of our 3-tier season, okay, not the preseason, he's done a great job with it.
Yeah, he has, absolutely. And, when you have patience given to coaches and athletic programs to build, then you get to see the end results. And you're seeing that right now with the early returns out of Effingham County with John Ford.
All right, we go to 5A. The only team making from here is Jenkins. They took a spanking last night against Statesboro, 35-0. But since, they beat who they beat? They beat Greenbrier. I don't know, but they have more wins than Statesboro. They're in the playoffs. They got to take. Now, I've never heard. You got to let me know because I'm down here in the eastern part of the tundra.
Yes.
Okay. Areba Mountain. Where is that?
Arabia Mountain.
Arabia Mountain. Where is that?
Arabia Mountain is in the western part of DeKalb County, out I-20, outside the perimeter. Arabia Mountain is a state park that has obviously, Mother Nature, when she created parks, she created Arabia Mountain. Arabia Mountain is out by Stone Mountain. It's in that same
I got you.
In the same area of DeKalb County where you have Stone Mountain as a block of granite. Arabia Mountain isn't as tall as Stone Mountain, and it's covered more with trees, and it's off the interstate. So it's a state park, and Arabia Mountain out in western DeKalb County, they took Tucker to overtime last night. That was our web game, and Arabia Mountain ends up winning the region, I believe, for the first time ever. So Arabia Mountain gets the 1, Tucker gets the 2. Jenkins has to travel from Savannah. My guess is that Arabia Mountain would have this game at Adams Stadium in DeKalb County, but you tip your hat to Arabia Mountain for surviving an overtime game. It was 14-14, 17-17, and then they go to overtime and knock off Tucker for a region title. So Jenkins travels to Arabia Mountain. You got Dutchtown, Northgate, but obviously a lot of folks are looking a little further up in that quadrant. You're looking that you're in the Cartersville bracket. So right. I think everything is going to end up going through Cartersville as you're looking at that bracket upper right.
All right, let's go to, of course, 4A, and everybody has a lot of interest here. We got the 2-time defending state champion Benedictine out of Savannah, Georgia, but New Hampstead, slides in there with that point differential. They got a legendary West Side Macon program, don't they?
Yep, West Side is our friend Shed Risper. And Shed and legendary coach Robert Davis, I think, have been the only 2 head coaches that the Westside Seminole program have ever had in program history. Robert Davis, for those that may not know, Robert Davis was the head coach for the national champ Warner Robins programs, the James Brooks, Ron Simmons, that history, national championships for Robert Davis at Warner Robins. He retired. And the Westside program was starting up, and Westside was like, excuse me, sir, we'd like to have you be the first coach of our program and build our program. And so Coach Davis did that, and then Shed Risper's taken. I think this is Shed's 17th year as head coach at Westside Macon. They've done tremendous work there. And New Hampstead, though, we know what Kyle Hockman's been able to do. Once again, you talk about patience and being able to build a program. It'll be a tough test for New Hampstead. One of the players that Shed has is a top 100 recruit in the state of Georgia. So Westside Macon's going to make the tour. I know a lot of folks are looking at Stars Mill in that mini bracket, but I think that this is probably one of the more wide open brackets that you'll see, one of the more wide open quadrants that you'll see. When you look at this group, it's a lot of evenly matched folks. Central Carroll, they've done some tremendous work under Umber Brown. It's his alma mater, and so he had the chance to go back and coach his alma mater. They've run the table in Region 7. So it's an interesting matchup with them and Hapeville Charter in round 1. Madison County took care of business to be the 2. And so you've got Lovett. I mean, this is about as evenly matched a quadrant as I've seen. You look at any of these 8 teams, and I know a lot of folks are focused on Central Carroll with the run that they've had, but that is a very, very interesting quadrant upper right.
All right. How about Danny Britt and those cadets? It's not cadets, it's cadets. They're in that lower left quadrant. Do you think they could do this again, make that run?
Oh, no question. But you see who they're paired with down at the bottom part of that bracket.
North Oconee.
Quadrant, yeah. So you could have a 1 versus 2 matchup to get into the semifinals. You would have a quarterfinal matchup of 1 versus 2. And I mean, that literally, I think that's what folks are staring at right here. I mean, I don't think that you need to take the headlines any further. Low left is that you're looking at Benedictine. LaGrange beat Troop last night to get the region crown there. So, but, and Coach Napier's doing great work there at LaGrange. But I know you're looking at Benedictine, you're looking at North Oconee, 1 versus 2 in the quarterfinals to get out of that quadrant. That is sick.
It's gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be
scary. It's sick.
It's gonna be a tough one. So, all right, now let's go to the 3A, where Savannah has 3 teams: Calvary, Christian, and Country Day. Calvary, of course, won last night on a forfeit. Beach did not have enough players. I don't know if it's COVID-19. I don't know what the story is. Savannah Christian is the only loss has been to Calvary. They open up with Peach County, and it looks like Upson Lee's a pretty good program that Country Day has to go against, right?
They are. Caught up with the folks at Upson Lee, and their coaching staff has been there, and they've been entrenched for a very long time. And Upson Lee loses to Mary Persons to decide the region title there. And, I mean, Upson Lee and Country Day, it's going to be one of your better 2-3s, I think, when it comes to this particular classification. But look below you. You've got Carver Columbus waiting for the winner of this one. And in this particular quadrant, Monroe area beat Hart County last night to get the 3 seed. Sandy Creek, for me, Region 5, everything goes through Region 5 to start with, and then you have what we're discussing with the Savannah schools out of their region. You look at Region 3, Region 5. I think that's what your focus needs to be on here, because in the quadrant specifically, you've got Sandy Creek, and Sandy Creek has made the run to the last game of the year. They're trying to repeat as a champ. Do not be surprised if the 4 teams in Region 5 all make deep runs in the playoffs, because it is Sandy Creek, it is Cedar Grove, it is Douglas, and it's Carver Atlanta. But in the Country Day quadrant, low right, you got to get through Upson Lee. Then you got to get through Carver Columbus. Then you're staring at Sandy Creek. So that low right is something that you've got to keep an eye on. Calvary Day, you're looking at Thomasville as one of the teams that you could be going up against in round number 2, and then having to sort through a Stevens County team that won their region last night. I mean, they won their region, but they end up losing the last game of the regular season, so they don't get a perfect schedule. They don't get a perfect 10-0 run this season. I know that West Tankersley is going to look more at what they did wrong instead of what they've done right, so they finish at 9-1. You'd have Calvary Day in Stevens County, once again, possibly a 1 and a 2, depending on the poll that you look at every single week, to get into the semifinals. So I think we're seeing a trend here with how the rotation has worked. Some classifications, low left, have your number 1 and your number 2 teams playing in the quarterfinals to get to the semis. And that's going to be really, really interesting when you stare at that. And the other, Savannah Christian,
right?
Peach County, upper right, took Peach County a little while to get the engine turned over, and it is it's a new head coach in Marquise Westbrook. Chad Campbell retired, went to the GIAA, and Marquise Westbrook took the team, their non-region schedule, took them a while to figure out what they wanted to do with their personnel and how to attack things. Then they got into region play, and the engine started to get warm a little bit. So Savannah Christian, it'll be a very interesting matchup, but I think that the road trip might take a lot of the early starch out of Peach County. So I think that if you're Savannah Christian, you've got to jump on Peach County early. And that would be the interesting matchup there. Morgan County's the one out of that particular mini bracket. But then you look above. I mentioned Douglas, Atlanta. You've got a Coney County up there. You've also got Heath Webb and Lumpkin County. And they've done some tremendous work in a handful of seasons. Heath was the head coach at Gainesville. He moves up to Lumpkin County in Dahlonega. And they've just been rolling the last couple of years. So I think that upper right, you're looking at, obviously, Savannah Christian and Peach. You're looking at Morgan County. You're looking at Lumpkin. You're looking at Oconee. And you're looking at Douglas. Once again, what we're seeing here, and like I said, this is just my dime store analysis and staring at this really for the first time as we're parsing through it. Low left in your brackets, you're having possibilities in multiple classifications of 1 versus 2 in the quarterfinals. Upper right in your brackets, you're seeing the more balanced brackets, the more balanced quadrants that we're seeing here, where a lot of different teams can make a statement. So 1 versus 2 low left, and anybody has a shot upper right.
It's definitely crazy, And when I looked at this last night really quickly, Thomasville, Carver, Atlanta, Stevens County. I mean, it's just a tough one there right there. And then throw Calvary in there, who made it to the semifinals. And we won't get into the finals, what happened last year in this classification. That's why we have the replay rule now. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, we don't have a dog in this fight, but I don't want to leave anybody out. Class 2, Class 2A. Well, who stands out mostly? I mean, Pierce County we know about down here this way. So Vidalia's in it. Vidalia's a little down from the tradition they are. Toombs County.
Okay, all right. I'm going to use my first time out here. That region, by the way, we talked about Thunderdome and math.
Yeah.
I mean, Region 3 was absolutely crazy.
Crazy.
And you end up having to use math and all these kinds of tiebreakers and everything. Vidalia, they get out to the early lead in region. And you're sitting there going, with 3 weeks to go, it's like, man, Vidalia is right now at the top of the region with Pierce and Toombs and Appling all below. But who were Vidalia's last 3 games in region play? It was Pierce, it was Appling, and it was Toombs. And so you end up with Vidalia as your 4, and literally the math that was involved with Toombs and with Appling. Appling, by the way, and you know how we talk about angry 2 seeds, angry 3 seeds, whatever, that team that can make a run, and they're not the seed. They're not the seed because of the math of the region. Appling County as an angry 3 seed. They're going on the road to Northeast to face one of the toughest running games in the state out of the blocks, first and foremost. So that'll be a test. They probably can clamp down on Nick Woodford. But Appling at Northeast, if you're in Middle Georgia or if you're in Baxley, go see this game. Then out of there, you've got Cook out of Region 1 as the region champ. They beat Fitzgerald in the winner take all, basically, for the 1 and the 2. So low right, you're dealing with Appling, Northeast, and Cook. And they're all 3 in the same mini bracket down low right. That's going to be a slugfest down there to see who gets out of it, who gets to the quarterfinals out of the low right part. Low left, you're looking at Pierce County. They've got Southwest. Then they've got Laney. So Pierce's path looks pretty good. But then you see what Fellowship Christian has been able to do. Fellowship Christian, I think, just scored again, by the way. They have put up some amazing offensive numbers this year on their way to they beat Union County in the last region game of the year to get the region title there. So you've got Pierce and Fellowship. Pierce has been rated top 5. Fellowship has been rated top 5. So once again, there's that trend. Low left is where you're going to have 2 top 5 teams, if not 1 or 2, depending on who you vote for. Right now, low left chasing after each other to get into the semifinals. Then if we continue our trend, let's go upper right. You're looking at Thompson, your defending champ. Jeff Davis, great work for Lance Helton and the Pinelands to get in as a 4. Toombs, Ace Charter. That game may start Friday. It might end on Wednesday. legitimately, those two teams could be scoring all night long. And they'll look, by the time you do your show next Saturday morning, they'll probably be early third quarter.
I'll just make this quick for you.
Yeah.
Jumping across the bridge into the South Carolina playoffs,
Yeah.
Ridgeland High School out of Columbia took on Bluffton.
Mm-hmm.
The score was 88-54, John.
Yeah.
They're still playing.
Yeah, I know. we had, what was it, Lowndes and McEachern a couple of years ago where they had like 130 points.
It's amazing. So, all right, let's wrap this up. We got 2 more to go. We split the Class A divisions.
Right.
So let's go to, this is what, 1A Division 2, right?
Let me see what you've got with your thing. 1A D2. All right, so 1A D2. Let's buzz through this here. Let's see.
Bryan County?
Yeah, well, I was gonna go clockwise. Let's go.
Let's go clockwise. Go ahead.
All right, upper left, you got Clinch County and MCA. They always seem to play each other. I swear, like every year for the last 27 years of the playoffs, Clinch and MCA end up playing each other, and the game ends up going to overtime and being a nail biter each and every time. Doesn't matter what the seeds are. Then you end up with Johnson County and Manchester. Manchester is going to be that angry 2 seed because they lost the region title in Region 6 to Sly County. So Manchester is going to have to go to Johnson County if chalk holds, meaning if the lower seeds win, and the higher rated team, the lower seed number. Manchester has to go to Wrightsville in the second round, but then Clinch is waiting for whoever comes out of that mini bracket. Then you end up low left. Great work by Matt Bertelson and everybody at Telfair County. They lost out on the region title, but they end up as a 2 seed. Portal. Great work by Jason McEachin. First ever region title ever in the history of ever. And Turner County, they're going to be coming over to Portal. Fantastic stuff from the Portal Panthers. And then Glasscock County. Chris Kelly, first ever time in the history of the program that they have made it into the postseason.
Nice.
They stopped football. They started football, stopped. And then in 1990, Chris Kelly is an alum. He came back to coach the program and build it back from scratch. They've done non-region schedules, and this is the first time I've seen it. Glasscock does get to go to Aquinas, and it's going to be a tall order going up against a region champ. But the Panthers from Gibson, first time ever in the playoffs. Fantastic stuff from our friends at Glasscock County. Low right, Lincoln County is always going to be there. Sly County, everybody's going to be staring at them. Sly County and Early County possibly as chalk goes through. You're looking at that in the quarterfinals. Upper right, you're looking at Bowden. You're looking at Charlton County. You're looking at Jenkins County. You're looking at Dooley County. Once again, low left, got some ranked teams. Upper right, a lot of balance. So that's how it looks in D2. Change the page for me. Go to D1. All right.
Let's go to D1, which right there. Find the click. There we go.
All right. D1. Irwin.
Go to D1?
Yeah. Well, D1.
Yeah, there it is. I got it.
There it is. There's D1. Irwin County's a 2 seed. Second round matchup. Irwin County at Bleckley, possibly. That's huge. Then everybody's going to be staring upper left at Prince Avenue Christian, Bleckley, and Irwin County. Low left, you've got Bryan County. We mentioned them. Bryan County and Commerce, possibly. Working their way out of the left, low left. That could be your quarterfinal there. Brooks gets a region title. Their work, but then they end up possibly with Dublin visiting Brooks in round number 2. Are you kidding me with that? And you got Rabun County is an angry 3 seed. They could be working their way through. So low right, Brooks, Dublin, Rabun. Are you serious?
That's a tough one.
And then upper right, you end up with Elbert County as a 2. Elbert going to Tryon possibly in round number 2. Swainsboro, once again, an angry 3 seed. They've got to go to Metter, and then they'd have to go to Lamar. So that would be Metter and Barnesville. But upper right, once again, Elbert, Tryon, Swainsboro, Metter, Lamar. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. And
I am not predicting any of this. I love all of my children equally. Thankfully, this has always been my approach. I ain't picking nothing.
All right, but I just want to go one step back to the lower right. Yeah. Bryan County Portal was a 22-14 Bryan County game. This is the first time that school has ever won a region title, Bryan County Redskins. And it's just, Sherrod Freeman and that group over there, he's got a couple of ex-head coaches on his staff. Tim Adams was at Jenkins, and you got Michael Moore from New Hampstead, Savannah High. I mean, what they've done with that program, just like Portal, is amazing.
Yeah, I caught up with Sherrod a couple of weeks ago. And my column, which you can find at gpb.org/sports, by the way, if you want to find out what the conversation was all about. It was really cool to get his lay of the land for what's been going on down there in Pembroke. And I always like to see new faces. As much as you like to see the Blue Bloods, I like to see new faces. And to have a Bryan County work their way through and be a region champ, and right now that mini bracket for them is East Lawrence, and East Lawrence makes it into the playoffs, I think, for the first time ever. And Heard County and Pelham. That low section, it's going to be a lot of folks looking at Bryan County and a lot of folks looking at Commerce just because of those ones. But you cannot discount the other folks that are there low left that are a part of things, even though your eyes do gravitate to an up-and-coming Bryan County program and what Commerce has been able to do with theirs over time.
Should be a fun one. Well, that's all the brackets we got for you. All right, let's do this quick. I know I've kept you longer than I thought I would. All right, so what's up next for GPB Sports and your outlook, or what's your schedule going into next week's first round of playoffs?
We are debating at this very second. Literally, we are sending texts back and forth with our star chamber, trying to figure out what our game is going to be next week. And keep an eye on social media at GPB Sports. Don't forget to download the GPB Sports app, available iOS and Android. And you can watch our web games. You can watch all the archives. You can get all of our content. Follow us on all of our social media platforms. But we are still deciding. And we have 2 hours and 4 minutes to figure out where we are going to be next week for our game. And when we know, we will let you know.
Any special shows?
Obviously the Football Fridays in Georgia podcast will be up and running. The post-game show starts this week after the game. Obviously, Hannah and I will be indoors at 260 14th Street, and we will be navigating you through what's going on. But after the game, it's the post-game show before the re-air, where we run through the entire state in about 30 minutes and try to get everybody as up-to-date as possible.
Well, I appreciate it, John. Always a lot of fun for your insight. And once again, hey, we did it. We broke down 3 seasons, not 4 in my mind, but 3 in your mind. Okay, so we did break it down. We followed it throughout the year, and I appreciate it. And always you're on top of your stuff, and a lot of people love what you do. And once again, I got to give you a good shout out because this man's always watching the show. The man from Calvary Day School, Mr. Cavalier, Dennis Kessler, says, "You're always a nice guy, John. Great voice, and have a wonderful day."
Thank you, Dennis. I always appreciate it. And I think this weekend we are going to be resting our voice because we know that the sprint is coming.
The sprint is it's definitely coming. So, hey, so you're not going to be outside in any rain or anything this year? Because we're at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
No. Nikki Noto Palmer will be taking over my sideline duties on site. So it'll be Nikki, Nelly, and Hannah. We'll be navigating everything when it comes to the postseason. But Nikki will be on site. Hannah and I will be indoors trying to discuss everything that's going on at 500 miles an hour.
All right. I'll talk to you later. Where's Patty going? Where's Auburn today?
Auburn is at Vanderbilt as a 4:00 Eastern kick, and so that means that we are going to a local establishment. It is not Coach's Corner, by the way.
I know. You're a little too far from there.
Yeah, so we're going to a local establishment where all of the Auburn alums kind of congregate, and so I will not be talking. I'll be watching, and I'll be eating, and she'll be yelling. So there you go.
Have a good one, John. I'll talk to you hopefully for the state championships if one of these teams from Savannah make it there.
Do well, my friend.
Hey, appreciate it, buddy. Icing on the cake. Remember that.
Yes, icing on the cake. Absolutely. And
you didn't get and you didn't. Whoops. Hold it. And you didn't give me pack a bag of lunch and go wherever like we usually do.
Well, it's because the West Side Macon deal isn't necessarily a pack of lunch and a dinner. They're just coming out I-16. So it's and all you guys got to stay home. So I mean, most of your folks got to stay home, and the road trips you have aren't all that big. So it's you gotta maybe just pack a lunch this time. You don't have to pack a lunch and a dinner. It's just one meal road trip.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
Be well, my friend.
Bye. I mean, the man knows his stuff. The man's on top of it. I mean, I don't know where he gets all this I don't know how he keeps all that information in his head because I know I can't, but he does a great job. Check it out. Georgia Public Broadcasting Sports site. And you can find his stories. Like he said, he did an interview with Sherrod Freeman from Bryan County High School. He knows his stuff, and that's why I do this every year. All right, I got to get out of here. I'm behind. I'm supposed to be out of the house. We're supposed to be going doing things today because I'm going to go watch some Wayne State football with my son. the coach, Russell DeMasi. This is the old coach. He's the real coach now. I'll be back in 3 minutes and 30 seconds to wrap this baby up. You're watching the Karl DeMasi Sports Report right here on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. Got to thank the sponsors. Hey, sports fans, looking for the ultimate sports and entertainment destination in Savannah, Georgia? Look no further than Coach's Corner. At Coach's Corner, you'll find everything you need for a great time, including TVs everywhere so you can catch all the latest sporting events, an outdoor seating area, perfect for enjoying a drink or a meal on a warm day, a wide array of drink options from beers to cocktails, a comprehensive sports schedule so you can cheer on your favorite teams year-round, prompt service even when it's crowded, a fun and lively atmosphere perfect for letting loose with your friends, and of course, delicious food, from famous chicken wings, hamburgers, to delectable calzones and pizzas. Coach's Corner menu is sure to satisfy your cravings. In addition to all this, Coach's Corner also features an upgraded sound garden. Now, more seats, more bars, and an upgraded sound system. It's the perfect spot for hundreds of fans to gather and enjoy the latest local bands, tribute acts, and rising stars. So what are you waiting for? Join us at Coach's Corner for the ultimate sports, music, and culinary experience. Coach's Corner can't wait to see you soon. Remember, Coach's Corner is located at 3016 Victory Drive, right in Thunderbolt, Georgia, and on the World Wide Web at coaches.net. Remember, Coach's Corner, where every day is game
At
day.
Calvary Day School, we want our students to be fully equipped and on the cutting edge of academics, making a difference in our world. Your child will grow academically, physically, socially, and spiritually. At Calvary, it is so good to say we are one school with one mission and one vision: faith, academics, excellence, and building champions through Christ. Calvary Day School, we consider it a privilege to meet with your family personally. Call Philip Lee, Director of Admissions, at 351-2299. That's 351-2299.
For over half a century, that comes in uniforms, sporting goods, or trophies, Thompson's got you covered. From cleats to caps and best prices on the biggest brands, Under Armour, Adidas, and more. From baseball to soccer, volleyball to softball, and yes, football too. Every season starts at Thompson Sports Shop. Come get equipped at Thompson Sports Shop's new location, 6606 Abercorn Street, Suite 102 in Savannah. Open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and seasonal on Saturdays. At locally owned Thompson Sporting Goods and Trophies, come see where everyone is a winner.
Yo, you still want some real New York Italian food? Bada bing, bada boom. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering is open at 7630 Skidaway Road, Tuesday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., serving breakfast and lunch right here in Savannah, Georgia. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering has been serving the public for over 3 years. Now, if you want Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering goods delivered to your door, go online to SavannahTakeout.com or DoorDash.com, or just pick up the phone and call 912-354-2914. That's right, 912-354-2914. Kabish, and remember, we ain't New York style. We are New York at Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering.
Weatherington Chiropractic Clinic. Your back hurts, another body part hurts all the time. It makes you mad. The pain drives you crazy. You just want to pick something up and throw it across the room. If you can, at the Weatherton Chiropractic Clinic, you get complete chiropractic care and pain relief to help you move better, have a less painful life, and of course, achieve a healthier lifestyle. The Weatherton Chiropractic Clinic is now located at 2 locations in Savannah, Georgia, at 329 Eisenhower Drive and in Pooler at 114 Canal Street, Suite 603. So visit Dr. Bart Weatherington at the Weatherington Chiropractic Clinic for all your chiropractic needs.
Hey, sports fans, looking for the ultimate sports and entertainment destination in Savannah, Georgia? Look no further than Coach's Corner. At Coach's Corner, you'll find everything you need for a great time, including TVs everywhere so you can catch all the latest sporting events, an outdoor seating area, perfect for enjoying a drink or a meal on a warm day, a wide array of drink options from beers to cocktails, a comprehensive sports schedule so you can cheer on your favorite teams year-round, prompt service even when it's crowded, a fun and lively atmosphere perfect for letting loose with your friends, and of course, delicious food, from famous chicken wings, hamburgers, to delectable calzones and pizzas. Coach's Corner menu is sure to satisfy your cravings. In addition to all this, Coach's Corner also features an upgraded sound garden. Now, more seats, more bars, and an upgraded sound system. It's the perfect spot for hundreds of fans to gather and enjoy the latest local bands, tribute acts, and rising stars. So what are you waiting for?
Join us at Coach's Corner for the ultimate sports, music, and culinary experience. Coach's Corner can't wait to see you soon. Remember, Coach's Corner is located at 3016 Victory Drive, right in Thunderbolt, Georgia, and on the World Wide Web at coaches.net. Remember, Coach's Corner, where every day is game day.
Okay, fumbling and bumbling with the keys, but I'm back. And once again, I got to wrap this up because I'm on a tight schedule today. It's game day for the Wayne State Football Warriors up here in Detroit, Michigan. That's where the old coach is, to go watch the young coach, DeMasi, and I got to love it. No 3 videos out the door, just Karl's Corner, my editorial on sports. And this goes out to the senior football players, the senior football players that did not make the playoffs. Why, Coach? Why are you talking about the senior football players? I saw a post on Twitter or social media this week, but you realize that once a young man or a young woman now hang up their helmet at the end of their football season, that's it. They're never going to put on that helmet again unless they are lucky enough to get that college scholarship to play semi-pro football. But majority of our seniors will never put on a helmet again. You could play golf the rest of your life. You could play tennis the rest of your life. You could play baseball, softball, you name it, basketball. You could play the rest of your life. But just think about it. We'll never put that, the seniors will never put that helmet on. And I can remember vividly way back when it was my last game and we didn't make the playoffs. My senior year in high school, we lost 5 games by less than 4 points. It's just heartbreaking. But to those seniors out there, remember the camaraderie, the love of the game, why you did it. It's the best time of your life playing a sport if you played football and it has ended. You'll have memories for the rest of your life. I still go back to that last game, my senior year. I turned the 8mm reel into a video cassette to a DVD. I watch it every year. The guys I played with, I'll never forget. Billy, Frank, Mike, okay, Scratch, okay, Bubba, okay, Tommy the Man Russo, Joe Vito. I mean, names I'll never forget because I enjoy. This was my career. This was my high school career. This is something I was never going to be able to do again. Yeah, I had a chance way back when St. John's University on Long Island, not St. John's, Stony Brook University started a football program. It was a club program after I graduated. I had a chance, but, due to family obligations and it was far from my house, I couldn't sleep there. It would have been a long commute. I didn't play college football. So I know how you're feeling. Be proud of what you've done. Be proud of whether it was your first year, your third year, your fourth year. You're a winner. You put on that pads, you put on that helmet, you played with your brothers, and you loved every minute of it. You weren't afraid what the people in the stands were going to say about you because you were playing football. You had each other's back. The boys of fall will be in your heart forever. And once again, to the teams that are moving on to the state playoffs and your seniors, enjoy it because now definitely every game is your last game. Could be your last game. You win, you stay in. You lose, you go home, and it's over. To those seniors, be proud of what you've done because you'll never forget it. And on that note, please say a prayer for this wacky world and everything that's going on. And I'm going to leave it at that. But remember, to my man, Lawrence Bennett, whatever you're doing today, tomorrow, I'm going to hit at the park at Wayne Stadium, Adams Field on the campus of Wayne State University. I hope you hit it out of the park. And until I talk to you next week, and I'll be back on the Soundgarden stage. I'm coming home, baby. That's home. But I got to be here with my son. So once again, appreciate you watching, whether it was for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Thank Jon Nelson from Georgia Public Broadcasting Sports Department for always coming on and breaking down football, high school football with me. You got to love it. And until I talk to you next week, may it be your best week ever. I'm out of here. Got to go watch some Warrior football.
Hey, sports fans, looking for the ultimate.
Once again, I'm out of here. Got to hit the right buttons.